Thank you for recording this next lecture session. Uh, Folding energy. Folding energy is really a central role in the whole process of internal system training. The we have joints entire body. Those joints represent a pattern where compare them to like doors. If the doors are locked, then the energy cannot flow. So from the wrists to the shoulders to the elbows, the waist, the knees, those joints need to be open for energy to flow and to allow this internal system development to cultivate and develop. Uh, we have big joints and small joints. The two biggest joints that play a crucial role in how this energy flows, and it kind of leads the pack with other joints to open concurrently: the waist and the shoulder. The waist and the shoulder. You have one in the midsection and one in the top section. If the shoulder joints become stiff, they get tense, then it becomes difficult for you to receive because you'll get stuck in the arms, which will tighten and tense. You contract, you have tension, and again, difficult for energy to flow. Of course, the biggest one is the waist. That's the midsection. We have the acronym SOS that reminds us to be soft in that area, soft, to be open. The door needs to be open. And once it's open, then it becomes supple. So SOS, soft, open, and supple. When you have that quality, those qualities playing out, now your posture, your alignment becomes more what it needs to do. Everything from top to bottom lining up in alignment so that the energy knows how to flow. The doors of the joints knows how to stay open. And this pung energy knows how to expand without getting stuck and not being able to penetrate and move because of joints closing up. Because if you're constantly sinking, then you're constantly expanding. And now it gets back to, with that said, it gets to the folding energy. The folding energy, what it allows to do is keep those joints open, allowing the pung, not just only on the bottom half, but throughout your entire body. And the folding creates an internal platform where everything is lined up. So let's take, for example, in stillness training, because we have stillness training, we have dynamic movement training. Both need to have folding energy for things to cultivate and develop in IST. So in stillness training, take for example, arm bridge, right? You're holding it for a couple of minutes, everything is going pretty good. Then, like for everybody, you get to the third, fourth, and so forth as the time keeps going longer. Now tension begins to develop in the shoulders because of how the arms are being held in that position. But it was designed that way so that you know how to maintain your posture, maintain the upper and lower connection, so that with that tension, you know how to release it through your zhongding from top to bottom and eventually connecting with Earth's energy. Now, for that to happen, you need to have folding energy and stillness. meaning that your tailbone is gently tucked in, your pelvis is gently tilted, so that those are the qualities of maintaining folding energy. Folding energy, because when you're standing, if this is going out like that, I'm just doing it to the extreme to make an example. Now the folding energy cannot go down. It's going to leak going backward because of the tailbone not tucked in, your pelvis not gently relaxed and going in. So as a result, when you have that, the tailbone and the pelvis tucked in, everything lined up from top to bottom. Now, because of folding energy, the energy can go down and come up concurrently at the same time. That's very important. So in arm bridge, it gives you that opportunity that in stillness, you learn to recognize that energy quality during stillness. Physically, you're not moving, but internally, it's like an engine internally that keeps on happening during stillness. That's what's going on when you allow folding energy to keep on playing out. Now, let's take the second half, dynamic movement. So let's look at rooting. What I say and continue to say, as you're doing rotational rooting, where do we want all the energy to go? What direction? Down. Okay. Think of a ripple. When something is dropped onto water, it ripples out. So when you're doing rotational rooting, you want that energy not just to go down, but to expand 306 degrees so that the energy goes down, but it ripples out. If the hips, the waist is not in proper position in folding energy, then you get less and less going down. You still get some, but we want to maximize the full capacity to get all that energy going down. And the more it's done correctly with folding energy, the more you find your rooting, the more you find your correct posture. Now that energy goes down. So I will to demonstrate, but of course, see online, but again, we try to plant the seed. As I'm bringing the arms around, if I'm not careful, the energy is going out this way. It's not going down because of just how maybe we're moving the arms independently. Maybe posture is not correct because of the folding energy. So as a result, we still get some going to the back leg, but we also have some energy going out that way. So as a result, we're not, trying to maximize how to do it more and more and refine it to how to do it correctly. So as we're going around, I'm already folding energy. So folding energy is defined as to have puzzles work together in the midsection so that energy can go downwards. Okay? Because when we folding energy, as they're coming around, it's still going down, See? It keeps on going down. Okay? Keeps on going down. That's in dynamic movement. So what happens during two-person verification drills, also known as push hands? We have those drills actually as an opportunity, whether scripted or unscripted. I'm coming after your center, but we do it in a supporting role, in a supporting way to help each other so that you learn how to move in different angles, different directions, so that you maintain that folding energy, that you don't have leaking energy to go out. So if I'm working with you and you're not doing folding energy to get it down, you're losing part of your alignment. now you're going to lose your equilibrium, your Zhongding. As a result, you're going to lose your position of where you're at, and then I got to bring you back and we start over again. But those are the transitions. That's how you learn about what folding energy represents. I say often in the in-person class, when you're doing two-person drills, you always want to get back to your center. Not only get back to your center, but get back to your center with the folding energy. And folding energy, very importantly, has the quality of your Mingmen going back, expanding. Let me say that again. When you do folding energy correctly, it will naturally over time allow your Mingmen to constantly expand. And when you're expanding your Mingmen, that's part of the SOS that allows for energy to keep going down. Um, so in the practice of the stillness training and doing all the Song Gong exercises along with meditation, walking, Tai Chi form, etc., uh, there's constant folding energy that's happening, giving it the puzzle that fits together from this whole midsection, allowing for the energy to flow up and down. And that's what internal system represents, that it doesn't get stuck. All the joints are open, the balloon, the fascia is expanding, all the muscles are constantly hanging, therefore JFM. And as a result, you have this constant flow. And we know that with energy constantly flowing, what does it nourish? It nourishes your organs, your mind is clear, you feel this passage constantly moving. So it plays a very important role for good health and for the practices that we do here. And again, with all the Jingong, which is stillness training, and Donggong, dynamic movement training, keep in mind that those are just tools to get you to what the overall long-term picture of a training internal system for good health, how to go about each day without having this, constant worry about, something's happening to me, my health, pain, all the things that are associated with, if we're not careful, that those things will become more prevalent if we learn to not be diligent and we let it go. So that's the bigger picture and why we do IST. Uh, the the tools that we have here are just that. It allows for learning. It allows for discovery. Discovery for what? For you to learn more about yourself. And as a result, when you understand more about yourself, it goes into all the tools that we have to get there. Okay? So that's on unfolding energy. Of course, to truly understand it, you need to come in person or find somebody out there that can show you if they understand folding energy. But coming to in-person class, once you know how valuable it is, then somehow you'll create those opportunities to make it happen. Okay, so that's on folding energy. Like with all the topics that I talk about, we'll come back to it from time to time because as we practice it more, then as I talk about it, you'll make that connection, that revelation. It'll be deeper over time. So that's unfolding energy.